Hello, darlings. This is Hattie.
I'm Shantae.
And I'm Jamaica.
And we're the ladies of Off the Chain Mondays. Episode 9.
Oh my God.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween.
You like our little setup here? Our little skull.
They more festive than me this year.
It's
Yeah.
okay. You did enough for you.
Yeah, I'm living through y'all.
All right. So we're gonna talk about a couple of topics today. Young moms, the struggles of being a young mom and what we go through. And we also gonna touch base on the LGBT community as well.
And voting.
And voting. You need to vote.
Yeah, so we got some good
Please.
stuff lined up for y'all. Hey.
I guess I'll talk about the young moms.
Because you're the youngest mom, so.
I'm not a mother, so I'm not going to headline none of it.
Well, you could just have your little
like the
comments
mama.
on it. Yeah. And I'll be trying to drop Jameer off to you and you decline.
I don't even offer because mine is a package deal, and I don't even want to do that to you.
I mean, I'll have, they be wilding sometimes, but,
Sometimes?
I mean, all the time. But, I'm going to talk about my experiences of when I got pregnant with my almost 3-year-old tomorrow.
Yay! Happy birthday, Jameer!
She's turning 3 tomorrow. I can't even believe this. But anyway, when I got pregnant, I was 20 years old. I had planned my 21st birthday. I was pregnant on my 21st birthday. I had to cancel all plans for my 21st birthday.
Aww.
I mean, it's all right. Jameer came
It was worth it.
at first. Then he drove me crazy a little bit. And I'm like, okay, you still worth it because you crazy like your mom. So, love him for that.
He is crazy like his mom.
I love
Jameer.
I know. He be clowning with me. I'll be like, wait, you only 2-3 years old and you clowning with me? All right. Cracking jokes. Like, he did this whole thing with my mom. She was like, nah, and started shaking his butt and ran away. I was like, you know what? I'm not even fucking with him.
He's so cute though.
I love Jameer. He's a whole grown man.
He is. But, so I got pregnant at 20. Had him at 21. Didn't have anything or care for. I was just talking about this the other day. When I got pregnant, I had me a little part-time job. I didn't care too much to work. All I was trying to pay for was my car insurance and my phone bill.
That was it.
That was it. I had
That's
no other
good.
responsibilities. I'm over here like, I'm fucking pregnant. I'm there like, doctor took the test like, oh, you're pregnant. I'm like, we gotta do an ultrasound. I gotta make sure this shit real. Because boy had arms and everything. I'm like, you know what? Okay, I guess I'm gonna accept this. And the thing is, I didn't accept being pregnant until like I was 6 months until I started seeing my belly. Like, I mean, I ain't drinking nothing. I wasn't like, oh, let me take shots still. But yeah, I didn't really take, okay, I'm pregnant. I didn't even tell people I was really pregnant until I started really seeing my belly. Because I'm like, this shit can't be real still. I can't get pregnant. No, I'm not getting pregnant.
Was that because of your age? You felt that way because of how old you were?
Yeah, because I didn't feel like I was more mature enough. And I still feel like I'm a whole clown. I am some days. I don't feel like I was mature enough to, take care of a whole child. Now I'm like, okay, I gotta, get a better job. Because, I mean, my part-time job is not going to cut it to take care of a whole child. I gotta make sure now, I'm living at home, so I gotta make sure, like, oh, let me try to get something so I can move out, because I don't want to just live at home with my child. I gotta make other steps now to take care of my child. So it was just a whole bunch of things that I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. But even when I had him, I was still living at home because, I needed that whole parent support. This is my first child. I'm not running out with my first child with this newborn baby. Some days I was so tired, and my parents was like, We gonna take Jameer. We know. I wouldn't have had that if I was at home by myself. Like I had my own place. No, I would have probably gone crazy most of the days more than I was going. So I appreciated the support, but yeah, I just felt like I was. I don't. I know there's younger moms, like teen moms, and I really salute them for like stepping up and be like, those, I'm not gonna say rare, but it do be seeming like it's rare. The teen moms that are like, okay, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna take care of my child, I'm not gonna depend on my parents to take care of my child. I really be saluting them because when I got pregnant, I was like, I feel like a fucking teen mom. Like I still didn't feel like I was ready at 21.
I'm still not ready.
Even people say they get kids like after 18 and they feel like they like at an adult. I did not feel an adult when I was 20 and pregnant. I was like, yo, what the fuck did I just do? Like, I'm pregnant? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so it was a little bit of all kinds of emotions. I mean, I cried probably most of the pregnancy. I always cry, but anyway. I cried probably most of the pregnancy just because I'm like, oh shit, I'm pregnant, I'm getting fat, I'm getting stretch marks, and why the hell did I get pregnant? But, those last couple of months, and I'm not saying, I didn't want my child, but those last couple of months, his whole movements and all that, I'm like, oh my god,
Aww,
you start feeling like, you start bonding, and it's like, cause there's a whole person in there at that point, like the last couple of months. So by the time he came out, I was like, okay, I'm a mom. Like, this is my child. We about to rock this shit out. So that's how, him now as a toddler, he be teaching me new things. I be over here like, what the hell?
I still look at my kids like that.
Like, what?
I still look at them like, how y'all got here? Where y'all came from?
I was about to punch his dad in the face. No, mommy, don't punch him. No, don't. I don't promote violence in front of kids, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes you're like, no, mommy, don't hit daddy. Okay. I try not to hit him. When he gets me tight, I'm gonna punch him in his face.
I'm sure it's vice versa.
I mean, it could be. I'm a little reckless sometimes, but, my son be like, my ride or die. Yo, the other day, me and my brother was like, play fighting, whatever, right? Yo, Jameer came from the lower and started punching Khalif in the legs. I said, all right, bet.
He got his mother back.
Right? He was like, let's get him, Mom. I was like, yup, get him from the back. I got him up here. Yo, he was like, I was like, yeah, we about to jump him. I don't promote jumping, but, my son gonna rock with me. But yeah, I appreciate him now. Like, he teaches me, half the things that I go out and do, I probably would have never done if I didn't have him. I probably wouldn't really care to, make more money or, because I was just paying my little few bills. I was content. I was like, okay, my little shopping money, I'm content. But then I'm like, when he was born and, daycare became, a $600 to $800 bill, I couldn't be content with a part-time job if I want to still work. So, he teaches me a few things. So, I appreciate him.
Mine saved my life.
Yeah, you said that.
Legit.
If they weren't.
Legit. To anybody who knew me from the age of 12 to 20, they can tell you I was wild, loud as fuck, rude, reckless, just jump out the window, don't think twice about my actions, fight anybody, say anything, do anything, didn't care, didn't think twice about nothing. That was me. And then when I got pregnant with Aaliyah, I was a sophomore in college, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be a mom. Because I knew I didn't believe in abortion. I'm not saying I don't believe in it for anyone else. I'm just saying from my personal beliefs, for me and what I can and cannot do to my body, I don't believe in it.
Yeah, I thought about it.
I don't knock nobody
the same thing.
For their own.
But my child was too big to abort at the time I found out, so.
Basically, once I found out I was pregnant, I was like, all right, so now it's time to get serious. Like, I'm not gonna be in the street no more. I'm not gonna run
Trying to throw garbage cans at people's heads.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight the way I used to. I'm gonna calm down and I'm just gonna focus. I'm gonna be a mom. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. Mind you, anybody that in my family can tell you, I never babysat. I don't do people's kids. Like, I have have two younger cousins that I would babysit occasionally when I felt like it, but they had to be already out of the diaper phase, bottle phase, crying phase. So I did not. The first time I ever changed a pamper was on my own child, and it was fucked up. The whole ass cheek was just hanging out, and a lot of
I had experience with like my cousins, so yeah.
I didn't have none. So with that being said, like a lot of the older women in my family was like calling my mom like, "You need to go get that baby. She's gonna fuck this kid up." And my mom was like, "I can't just take her baby from her. She's gotta learn how to do it on her own."
Right.
I was like, "Y'all saying take her baby?" Like I was gonna say, "Okay." No.
Right?
That's
if
not
I'm gonna have this whole child, I'm gonna take care of my own child.
Right. And then even
for
after
9 months.
Even after I had her, I got cocky, which was probably a mistake. Because I remember one day, Aaliyah had shit from head to toe, as babies do. If you have a child, you know what I'm talking about when they shit like all out of their clothes and it run down to their toe. It's just disgusting. Babies are gross. So anyway,
Jimmy did that in Walmart.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to leave him right there in the cart with all
So-
that shit he played.
my mom is really like sarcastic and stuff. So as I'm cleaning like all this shit off of this baby, my mom comes in the room and she was like, "So, how does it feel being a single mom?" And I was like, "It's really not that bad, except for like little moments like this, which are rare. But other than that, I got this single mom thing down pat." Didn't know 3 months later I was gonna be pregnant with twins. So I kind of like should have just shut up when she said, "How's it being a single mom?" I should have been like, "It's terrible." I don't know. Maybe it would have been different, but I didn't feel it was terrible at that point. I was like, "This is like, I got a cute little baby doll that I take everywhere, and people stop us all the time and say, 'Oh, mom, you're cute, and she's so cute. She looks just like her mom.'" It was like, I got a baby doll.
I used to actually not hate when people used to come up to see Jermaine, because Jermaine was, he was a cute baby. And then people used to come up and be like, "Oh my gosh, why he actually gotta be cute?" Because if he was ugly, I know nobody was gonna come up to me and say my son was cute.
No, we take
So
that.
I
And we
used
thank
to
God
be-
for His blessings.
I know. I mean, I thank God for him being cute, but I'm
Yeah,
just
my
saying,
baby looked like a little China doll. I was very happy
I
to
used
show
to
her
hate
off.
people coming up in my. I used to have him like
You
when you
hate people being in your space.
used to do the child wear, right? So he be right here, and they be all in my neck. I'm like, damn, you can't see him for a reason. I'm covering his
You
face.
sound ungrateful.
I just hate people in my space. I just hated it.
Y'all remember one time I was in a hair store, right? And the lady that was running the store, I guess they were, I don't know if they're Korean. I think they're Korean. And she had a really heavy Asian accent, like really, really heavy. So I really didn't know what the hell this lady was saying. And she said, "Baby cute." And I was like, "Okay, that I got, thank you."
Okay.
And she was like, "Baby Asian." And I was like, "My baby not Haitian." And she was like, "Yeah, baby Haitian." And I was like,
She said Asian.
I thought she was saying Haitian, and I'm like, "Miss, I'm telling you, we're not Haitian." And she's like, "No, baby, I Chinese like this, like this. Yeah, baby, yeah." She Asian. I was like, "Hey." She started doing the eye.
Chinese like this.
But check this out. She was right, because my daughter's father, like his father's family is Chinese Jamaican. So I didn't know that at the time though. So yeah, I was like, "No, my baby not Asian either." I thought she was saying my baby was Haitian. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm telling you, she know you arguing with me." But yeah, that was. I used to love people coming up to me, child. And then when I got pregnant with the twins, I had a miserable pregnancy. Aaliyah, I didn't cry. I knew like what situation I was in. I was like, I'm gonna be a single mom, and this is what I'm gonna have to do. So I'm gonna cry today. I cried 2 times during my pregnancy with Aaliyah. I cried the day I found out for sure that I was pregnant. When I went to that first doctor's appointment, I cried. And then I cried when I found out I was having a girl, because I really wanted a boy. So those was the only 2 times during that pregnancy that 3 times. I lied. When my cousin ate my Oreos
I can't. While you were pregnant.
while I was pregnant. I was like, "I hope you get a sty on your eye, you little light-skinned bastard. You make me sick." I was so mad. Because there's special edition holiday Oreos, and they like dipped in white chocolate. And I had them stashed away, and I thought I had a good like hiding spot. And when I went back for them, I was like, "I'm gonna go home and bust these Oreos." I had just got off work. I'm lit. You know when you got your little craving.
I'm lit.
Oreos.
Off the
I opened my
Oreos.
little thing under my belt where I keep my little personal snacks. He left the pack in there, and the bitch was empty. Not one cookie.
Nah, I would have been tight too.
So I was breaking up all kind of throwing stuff at him. He was like, yo, I will go buy you some right now. I was like, you
When
could have
Kylie
bought
ate the
your
last
own.
piece of macaroni, I dad was
When you
pushing him in
pregnant,
the
that does something to
wall.
you.
I had him by his neck. I said, you ate the last piece of macaroni.
Zakari says, what was the hardest struggle you guys had to face and how you overcame them?
Oh, the hardest struggle. Okay, I love sleep. Like, I'm so glad Jameer loves sleep now. Like, we could sleep all day. But when he was a baby, and he used to wake up every 2 hours for a feeding, oh my gosh, that shit,
That was the
I
hardest
was
thing for you?
well, sleeping, and then I was saying, I don't know, just learning to be a mom, like, cause when I first had him, and it took me a few months. Like, when I first had him, I just thought, okay, yeah, I'm a mom, and I didn't really take it in. Like, I just like, okay, I got this responsibility kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That
you was just doing it.
I was just doing it. I was just going with whatever I had to do. You get what I'm saying? So I had, I had go to work. Well, I didn't even work for like the first month, but I went back to work. Did my daily thing. I went back part-time because he was a newborn. So I went back part-time, came back, did whatever with him. Waited. It was just like, I just felt like I was just doing a daily routine. I didn't really, take it in that, okay, I'm a whole mom.
Yeah.
Like.
And you didn't stop to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Kind of was just stuck on go.
Yeah. So I was just in that phase for the first few months. But I feel like the hardest thing was like the whole sleeping thing. That I had to get used to. And feeding and rocking and the crying, because he was just so, like, he was colicky and gassy for like months too. So that shit used to get me fucking tight. He would not go to sleep for even if he ate. I used to have to rub his belly and rock in this chair at the same time. I was just like, yo, what the hell? Like, I used to be like, rubbing his belly, rocking, I looked up mad shit online. I could admit, like, Google was my best friend for like those first few months.
I love that phase, like that infant phase, like when you first bring them home.
Yeah.
Up until they're about 1.5. When they start walking and talking, that's when I have a problem. That's the hard part.
Because they getting everything.
Let me tell you something. When I had Aaliyah wasn't so bad with her terrible tooth phase. She just did a lot of sound effects, like everything was sucking the teeth and I used to be like, girl, you only two, like you're not about to, you don't even have teeth to suck, like I'll slap you, don't play with me. But the boys, it was like they tag teamed me. And it was the most unfair experience of my entire life because I literally had these two little humans that would do shit purposely. They knew it was wrong because they used to, like, the way they used to laugh, I'm like, yo, y'all possessed. Because they used to just, like, do shit they had no business, then, like, laugh at me while I'm yelling about it, like, you're not gonna do nothing. Like, I had children size me. And it was right, it was nothing I could do because at 2 years old, you can't do nothing to them about it. Like,
yeah.
For instance, they went in my kitchen, and I had started putting, like, the snacks and stuff on the upper shelves because I knew they would, crawl into the kitchen and pull stuff off the bottom shelves.
Yeah.
And one day they ate a whole bag of chips, so I was like, okay, let me move
like
stuff to the
Jameer with
top.
the whole Oreos he ate, I was like, whoa.
I can't.
Those boys used each other as a step stool and climbed to the top of the pantry, got the maple syrup, like the pancake syrup, squeezed it all over my floor, took their clothes off, and, like, I don't know if they were ice skating or making syrup angels. I don't know what they were doing, but it was syrup literally, like, spread all over the floor. And I think I was in the room sleeping. Aaliyah come in the room and she's like, she's only 16 months older than them. So she comes in the room, she's like, Mommy, you gotta get them. You gotta get them. And I'm like, girl, what? Get who? And she's like, the boys. It's everywhere. The boys, come see. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened in 2 seconds of me closing my eyes? I don't know who lives in that apartment now, but I'm sure the floor is still sticky. Because there was no way that you could possibly get all of that damn syrup. And it was butt naked in the kitchen. It was syrup all over them. And it was like looking at me like, what's up? And that wasn't even just one scenario. Like, they used to do stuff like that all the time. My grandmother kept saying, those kids is getting out of that playpen. I was like, no, they not. No, they not. I sit with them in the playpen all the time, man. Not getting out the playpen. One day,
was in there when you
I go in my room. It looked like my room was snowing. It was powder everywhere. Everywhere. The only people that was in the house was me and them. So there's no way the powder got across this room unless they did it. Them little got back in the playpen and sat down like, and I'm like, oh my god, like just stuff like there were days where I would literally sit in a closet and cry because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I caught Aiden coloring on my wall with a permanent marker and I said, hey, like out of reflex, like, hey, put that down. He turned around and was like, I was like, nah, I'm calling the priest because y'all need an exorcist in this house. I don't know what's going on, but these kids is out of control. The boys were horrible little individuals. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. That was the hardest part for me with parenting was trying to get the two of them to just not get into stuff, but then it was that twin thing. It played off of each other, and then it got to a point where they wouldn't speak. Like their boys didn't start speaking until they were almost 3 years old. My mom was like, "You might want to take them to be tested for autism," and the doctor was like, "They're not autistic. They're twins. They don't care about talking to you. They talk to each other." And they were. They had like their own little language.
Yeah, you said that they had their own little thing.
They had their own little twin thing going on. And the day that I took them to go get tested for autism was the day they started talking. Complete sentences.
It was like, you trying us.
I went to Buckle
we had our
today.
own little language.
He gonna say, "Ow, mommy, you pinched me." I was like, "Where the hell that came from?" Aaliyah said, "He said that." I was like, "He said what?" He said, "Yeah, mom, you pinched me."
That would have freaked me out too. I was like, you never was saying nothing
Never
until
said
just
a word
now.
till that very moment, and a complete sentence at that. I was like, you know what?
You know what? I ain't playing with you.
I'm not.
So what advice would you give young moms?
Pray.
Pray.
Why y'all laughing? I say that to people all the time, and they be laughing, but I'm so serious.
No, for real.
There is no way to make it out with everybody alive if you don't pray.
And like what you
everybody
having
is different.
support helps.
Yeah, support helps. Even if I say I did move out, I think my parents would have still just been there. Like, Tyler's grandparents, you guys need to support your kids when they need it because
sometimes I had support, sometimes I didn't.
But you know you had the support. Some parents would not be there at all just because they mad that their kids had kids.
I went through some phases of their childhood like that where I was literally by myself. We went through a whole 3 years of being homeless and bouncing from living in a car to living in a hotel room to living in a shelter. I didn't have support then. That's why I said the only thing that I can advise is seriously pray.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I made it out of that shit by myself.
Yeah.
I know I didn't. I know it wasn't me.
Just your work.
Just me by myself doing. I know that. I know that as a fact. I know there's no possible way that Shantae could possibly raise 3 kids without help from a higher source. There's no way. Not with the amount of money that I make. Not with them not having active fathers in their lives. There's just no way that Shantae would be able to literally do all of this by herself for these 3 kids. There's no way. So if you are, I don't know anybody else's situation, but if you are a young mom, or you feel like there's no way out, the only thing I can tell you to do is pray. Get yourself into a corner, a closet, a bathroom, lock yourself away, get 5 minutes of peace to yourself. Do what you gotta do. Our neighbors are knocking. Sorry, guys. But, yeah, with that being said, that's what I would advise. I would advise y'all to pray.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things you can't even teach someone or train someone to do. Like, everybody...
There is no training.
Exactly. Everybody's experience is going to be different.
I don't care what job you get. They give you some type of on-the-job training, right? Motherhood?
You ain't got no training for
none.
That. You can read books, you can read articles, but it's still not going to give you the right track on how to do a day-by-day thing. So...
It's nothing. It's hands-on training. Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they say the first.
Because you know your mom will give you advice. Your grandmother be like, "Yo, none of this shit happened." It's a whole other story that happened with me, but you know.
And not only with that, but you could really what it is a mixture of taking advice from other people that you admire or you feel like you're close to, and then also looking at what was presented in front of you or what life you led as a child and saying, okay, I don't want to do this with mine. I'd rather try this with mine. And then as you get older, when you know better, you do better. So as a parent, you're going to keep growing, molding, changing, evolving. I'm not the same mom in 2018 that I was in 2007 when I had Aaliyah. I'm definitely not the same mom. I know what the hell I was doing. I mean, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, but now I gotta at least blueprint on what I want my kids to turn out like. So
Exactly.
once you know what you want your kids to turn out like, then you can kind of start making like active moves to say, okay,
Yeah.
she's not gonna turn out like this if I allow her to go this route. So let me push her back this way and keep her on this track. And then also you gotta remember as a parent, you gonna have to eventually let go, and they're gonna go out there and try it on their own. And if you're a good parent, then you just have to back up and say, I think I did a good enough job for them to make it in this world. So let's see what they do,
And pray.
and then pray some more. Probably pray
And
more
pray.
than ever.
Exactly. And pray. And
So,
pray and
But
pray.
yeah, there's not any kind of right.
I miss you
step by
too,
step
Amanda.
To that.
Oh, man,
Hey, Amanda.
how come you ain't saying nothing to us, Amanda?
I feel a testimony coming on. I can't.
Praise him. Hallelujah.
I can't fucking tell.
Hallelujah.
Hi, Scooby.
Scooby Doo. Hey.
What's the worst thing you ever done that you can laugh about today and you did not laugh about at the time?
Now, I know it's something, y'all, because my sister used to babysit me. When I say my mom, when she brought me home from the hospital, she put me in my sister's arms. And she used to babysit me, and she'd tell me the story all the time. She thought there was a snake crawling on her chest while I was asleep on her chest. And she, in the dream, she grabbed the snake and threw the snake on the floor. She woke up and my ass was laying on the floor. Crying.
You know
Oh,
what?
snap.
I can't fucking do.
She threw me on the floor thinking I was the snake while she was asleep.
I can't fucking do.
She can laugh about it now.
I'm thinking about something that I didn't laugh about at the time, but it's funny now. I don't know.
Well, Jameer's 3.
Yeah.
Because I laugh at my kids all the time afterwards. I can't laugh at, because they say so much stuff.
Nah, Jameer be saying some wild shit. But you know what? That's what I gotta learn too as being a mom. I'm still learning. I'll be laughing right there with Jameer. Yo, Jameer be like, yo, we was in SeaWorld, right? He go, oopsie, I farted. And I'm over here falling out. I'm like, yo. And then everybody's looking at Jameer like, what the fuck is wrong with this child? But I'm dying. Like, I'm crying at this part because he said it so loud. I said, Jameer, remember we have to, just whisper and say, excuse me. He go, excuse me. Yo.
He had to say it loud. Everybody heard he farted. He got to say excuse me.
I'm like, yo,
loud.
I'm not dealing with this.
Not to mention his mother ain't nothing quiet about her.
Yeah.
So Jameer,
He be clowning, I be laughing. I'm like, yo, this guy's a comedian. And he's like, but that's what I gotta learn. I gotta learn not to laugh at this boy because he is dead ass like.
Sometimes there's no way around it. Like the other day, I know, poor Adrian, he gonna need
Oh
counseling.
yeah, you said.
Alright, so what happened was him and Aaliyah is arguing. Adrian and Aaliyah, and they going at it. And she's like, no, because I said this, and this is what happened afterwards. And he's like, no, that's not how it happened. And I'm not going to agree. Nope, I'm not agreeing to it. And then she goes, it's a shame you turning into such a liar. And then,
it's a shame you turn into
such a liar.
She sound like somebody's mom or
That sound
Shanti.
like Shantae.
Oh yeah, true.
face.
True.
I don't know if y'all ever saw that video where that man started that slow cry. He got like one,
Yeah.
It was worse. He started this slow cry, and the minute he started crying, I bust out laughing. I was like, nah, you can't possibly be crying like that. Nah, you're not doing this.
You said he might need counseling.
He might need counseling. He went and locked himself in the bathroom. And every time, let me tell you how shitty of a parent I am.
You know,
I kept going back to try to check on him, right?
He
Because
started crying again.
I'm like, nah, I'm fucked up. I'm laughing at him, and he's dead ass. Like, his feelings is hurt. She called him a liar. So I'm going to try and fix it. Let me go check on him. All right, I'm done laughing. I get to the bathroom, and as soon as I do, Adrian.
Yeah. I would have been laughing too. That's the shit I be talking about. Like, I need to hold back.
This shit happened for like a good 15 minutes of me trying to go check on my child in his bathroom, and every time, and he was like, I'm never speaking to you again. You're laughing at me.
Shantae, you need a whooping.
Boy, I was hollering because I just kept picturing that face.
Shantae, you need a whooping.
And then my other two kids is just as bad as
They probably laughing.
Every time I laugh, they laugh.
A whole audience out there laughing.
She gave them permission to laugh. They probably wanted to laugh, and as soon as Shantae bust out and laughed,
Oh
they
my
like,
god, that shit.
It wasn't funny. So afterwards, I had to tell him, I said, "You can come sleep with me tonight," because I felt so bad, but I could not control it. It was the funniest shit I ever saw. I was like, I wish I had my phone out because
she got tears coming out.
Right? That shit was funny as hell.
Nah, I feel you. That's why I be like, certain things Jameer be doing, I be like, I don't think I'm supposed to be laughing. Like, Michael will have a serious face, but I'll be dying. I'm like, nah, I know I'm not the only one that thinks this is funny. He's like, you just gotta make sure you. I'm like,
y'all ain't never did nothing to where like you can laugh at it now, but back then it was like, oh, that's.
Jameer used to fall to the bell time.
I've done stuff that I found funny. I don't know if other people would find it funny.
Well, what is it?
All right, so boom. I had Aaliyah with me in
church.
You know
you from New York when you say.
When you start, and it's a good one when it
starts.
Right,
alright, so boom.
Alright, so boom.
Okay, after this we got.
Alright, so this is the last one. Alright, so boom. So I'm in church and my beautiful daughter shits up herself as usual. She always waits till we in public to do it. So me and my sister take her to the bathroom to clean her up. She got on this beautiful white dress that is now obviously brown completely. And she just happy as a pig and shit, making little googly sound. You know how babies be like, doing all that shit. They all, she being all cute with all the shit covering her.
They don't care. They be smiling and everything.
Yeah, they don't be caring.
Got shit all over on their face.
I gotta peel her out of this shitty dress and like toss it to my sister so she can rinse it out in the sink so I can wipe.
It to her?
Yeah, I wasn't. Bitch, I'm not keeping that doing on my fingers. But I was like, yeah.
I'm done.
And I'm wiping Aaliyah up with all these like baby wipes and shit, trying to get all this crap off of her. And this old lady comes in the bathroom. Now, mind you, we have church, right? Church. Old lady comes in the bathroom and she goes, "Oh my goodness." Now Aaliyah's like, for the most part, she's pretty much clean. I'm just getting ready to like put a pamper on and put our clothes on and all that good stuff. But you can tell that she shit everywhere because it's brown wipes all over.
Yeah.
So like I'm going through it with this baby right now. Mm-hmm. Okay? So she comes in the bathroom, she goes, "Oh my goodness, what a beautiful baby. She looks like a little child, though she's so cute." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you. I'm not in the mood, but I'm still being polite. Okay, thank you." And then she goes, "I don't see a ring on your finger." So at this point, I'm ignoring her because I know what you're getting at. But this is the house of the Lord, and I'm just trying to clean my baby. So as I just continue to wipe her up, and then she goes, "If you're not married, as beautiful as that baby is, she's an abomination unto the eyes of God." And I must have turned into the exorcist in that motherfucking bathroom because my head literally like just snapped around. And I said, "Miss, I will slap you with a shitty pamper if you don't back the fuck up off me." And my sister goes, "Oh, we in church. You can't say that." I was like, "Fuck that." Now, in the moment, that shit wasn't funny to me. But like 2 or 3 years later, when I thought about it, and I thought about the look on that old lady's face when I said I was gonna slap her with that shit, that shit was funny.
I'm gonna ask y'all later down the line of some stuff, cause that ain't what I'm talking about. Although that is very funny.
She was looking at me like, "Oh my goodness, my word, your word, who word, bitch, go, just go."
I can't.
I'll wait till Jameer get a little bit older.
Yeah.
I'm gonna recycle, come
this
back
question.
to you. But yes, we're gonna come back to this question. I'm gonna give you some time to think.
Yeah, because I don't really have no funny things about Jameer. Like, I mean, he's just, I don't have no stories that I'm like, I thought was, it's only been 3 years too.
I'm gonna give you some time to think. It's been some years.
It has been.
Give you some time to think.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next topic.
Yes, thank you, lovely mothers, for that. Maybe one day.
Soon.
Pinky. Nah, ain't no soon.
Soon.
Maybe one day.
Get your man.
Ain't no. I was trying to put you. I love Jameer, but Jameer ain't going nowhere without his mama.
He will.
He will if Aaliyah's there.
Yo, I think he likes Shantae's name. He'd be like, "We going to Shantae house. We going to Shantae My
My
brother.
brother's his sister. Well,
No,
no, Ling not his sister. Ling is his
girl.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Ling is my girl and my brothers. I'm like, they're siblings, but okay. Ling is your girl, but the boys is your brothers.
When he with
Okay.
the kids, he don't care nothing
He
about
don't
Jamaica.
care. Nothing about me.
She be like, I can't leave Jamaica because he's gonna cry behind me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's a lie.
Watch this. She walked out the door. She was like, okay, Jimmy, I'm leaving. Bye. He was like, bye, mommy. See you
Closed the
later.
whole door. Was ready to run after Ling.
The Ling. But that's how he threw that whole tantrum.
Yes. And then the kids was helping him. Like, no, let Jameer stay. I'm like, nah. And I was like, okay.
I can't.
I was like, you need to go. We need to go home.
What we talking about next?
Moving right along.
LGBT.
We're going to bring along our special guest for today.
Yay!
Everybody welcome
Nicco!
Hi, hello. Hi.
You guys see his blood?
You got a
Blood
little thing
on.
on the side.
Yeah, I just came from a little visit.
I
I love the blood.
I love it.
can't deal with
And so
you.
we have Nicco with us to have like his perspective. We wanted to talk we wanted to talk about the
Oh, before we move on,
Yeah.
I just want to say props to you too. Because, yeah, from
Oh,
your
for
stories.
the
Yeah,
mom.
for yeah, definitely it is a challenge. My mom, she raised 11 kids.
What?
Yes. And she had her first when she was only 16.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
11. You have two
I'm the 10th.
brothers and sisters?
You the 10th.
I'm the 10th. So there's one right after me.
Woo!
Definitely, yeah. Props to you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did your mom do it alone? No.
No. Yeah, I come from like I have my dad and my mom all grew together, but there was a point in life where my parents were like, okay, to my older siblings, they were like, okay, you guys take care of the younger kids.
Okay.
And
Oh,
my
wow.
parents, my dad would go to work, my mom would do other stuff, like around the house and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I was mostly raised by my siblings mixed with my parents at the same time.
So
So,
you had a lot of adult influence.
oh yeah, absolutely, for
That's
sure.
pretty cool though.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, sorry.
My brother was 1 of 13, but I feel like that.
It was a
that
party
many
sometimes.
kids is
Yeah.
just
So what's your I got a question. Like, what's your background? Like, your
Okay, so
nationality?
from my dad's side, I'm Chinese, Chinese Guatemalan. From my mom's side, I'm German, Mexican, and Nicaraguan. But we were all like raised in. I was born and raised in Guatemala. So yeah.
Oh, okay. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Senpai.
Right.
Yeah, I was like,
So I mean, for food wise, do you just eat everything?
I do. Yeah, like for my grandpa's birthday, we were all gathered in my aunt's house, and we just order Chinese food, and it was like, because my grandpa's like full on Chinese. Well, it was full on Chinese, so we would just all eat like full on Chinese food, and at home it was just like regular Guatemalan stuff. I guess.
Spanish food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Their food is a little different than Guatemala.
It is.
I think every Spanish country got their own little different thing
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
that they make. Yeah.
Mhm.
What's the specialty?
Ooh. Okay. It's like all like Mayan influenced
Mm-hmm.
dishes. So the most popular is pepian or
And what's that
suanik.
English term?
Pepian.
Pepian.
Pepian. It's like a stew, as well as suanik. Suanik is like it's another stew, but it's like chicken, and it's like with a tomato sauce, and it's I personally don't like it.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody in Guatemala. But it's same thing with pepian. Everybody in my household, like, we make fun of that particular dish because I don't know, like it's
Yeah,
when you see it, it's like a green stew. It has potatoes and chicken, I think. I don't know, but I mean, once you try it, you can say, okay, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
But
When you
the
look
first
at
si-
it,
yeah,
yeah,
at
it
first
just
sight,
looks
you're like,
disgusting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll eat it with my eyes closed.
There you go. There you go.
Because I like to try new foods.
Mhm.
I do too.
That's cool. All right. Little just stuff about you.
Yeah.
I know. That's cool.
Okay,
We're
so
learning.
right. So do you have any like, stories or
Of LGBT.
yeah,
I
or
mean-
crazy stories that you
What's the worst question that you get asked?
yeah.
Okay, this is one question I really really like. It doesn't really have an answer, but a lot of people. A lot of people in the gay community like to ask this is if you're top or bottom.
Yeah,
If you're-
I heard.
And if you're not familiar with the term, it's if you're top, that means
Yeah.
that you're like the
Yeah.
giver and
Yeah.
the receiver is the bottom.
Yeah,
Right.
bottom, yeah.
Do you find that a disrespectful question?
Not really. It's just like it's
You've gotten used to it.
yeah, and I mean I personally don't have a specific answer to that. It's just whatever I feel like
So it's like,
they do.
So this is what I want to ask.
I feel like it's like a normal relationship.
This is
Yeah.
what I want to ask
Go
because
for it. Go for it.
I feel like sexuality is not black or white,
True.
right? So, in a sense, like as far I don't like the idea of labels.
Right.
I feel like to me it doesn't matter. You are who you are. You love who
Right.
you love, as long as you're not
Crazy.
infringing on my rights or
Exactly.
who I am as a person. Then you're welcome to do whatever you please. It doesn't matter to me. But with that being said, sometimes I dabble with women.
Mhm.
So people be like, "Oh, so you're bisexual?" No.
Yeah.
I'm not. "Oh, so you're just playing?" No, I'm not.
Mhm.
It's just, do you find yourself as like on one end of the spectrum completely, or do you find yourself being a little bit more
So-
fluid?
It is a little weird. I personally so I came out when I was 26, so that was like last year.
Wait, what?
How was that for you?
It was actually a funny experience. I was having a conversation with my parents, and I was like, well, because my dad was like, I don't understand like how somebody from the same sex will like another person from the same sex or whatever, and I was like, well, how about like if you think about it, like God made us all, and say God made men to eat chocolate cake and women to eat vanilla cake. Well, what if I want to try the vanilla cake too?
Right.
So, like, I don't know.
Try to
And like
make
if
it
I yeah, and like
right.
if I try it and like I like it better, so it's like whatever. And then out of that conversation, I was like, well, since we're talking about it, I have something to tell you. And he's like, what? And then I was like, well, I'm gay. And he's like, no. Oh my God. And then he calls my mom and is like, hey, come and hear this. It's like, what? What happened? Well, he's saying that he's gay. And I was like, and my mom was like, no, you're joking, aren't you? And I was like, no, I'm serious. And then she was like, no, I know you're joking, because, like, what about the girlfriend that you had? I was like, yeah, but, like, nothing happened.
Right.
Nothing happened. It was just, like, I was, like, exploring myself.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they were just like, well, what did we do wrong? And I was like, no, you guys didn't do anything wrong. You guys raised me how you did, and it was perfectly fine. Like, we have our morals. We know how to be, like, good civilians and good people. And
And it doesn't
yeah,
take
like,
away from that.
yeah, exactly. So to answer your question, I personally, like, I could call myself a gay male. However, I'm still attracted to women,
Mhm.
but I've never actually had sex with
With
a
a
girl.
woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I will be interested. Like, if a girl will go say like, "Oh, let's go hit it up," whatever, I'll be like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, sure.
I love it.
So what I wanted to
So
ask
I was
you,
gonna ask a
because,
question, but you already answered kind of with that one. So.
Mhm.
with everything that's going on with, like, the rights,
Yeah,
and whatnot here in the U.S., and you said you were born and raised in
Guatemala,
Guatemala.
which is worse.
I was just gonna ask you that. Do you, like, it's worse there than it is here in the, like, what
Yeah.
is your experience?
Well, like I was saying, I came out when I was 26. In Guatemala, that country is still very reserved and, I don't know how to say it, but it's still very, like, backtracked, old school, very squared. So
Very
they-
religious too, no?
very religious, yeah. So they have a lot of Catholic influence in it. And this year, last year actually, they had, or was it this year? I can't remember. but they had a pride parade. A lot of people were against it, but there were still a lot of people that showed up in the main plaza at the city to, show their pride to LGBT, and to me, it was very surprising to see that a lot of people actually did come out and show their own pride and support. Even regardless if you're gay, straight, bi, lesbian, transgender, whatever, because you can still see all that over there. It's just very hidden,
Right.
and it's like a stigma talking about it too.
Oh.
So like, if you that's a topic you don't talk on the dinner table. Like if you're talking, it's like very sensitive and like, no, let's change the topic, or let's just not talk about it. And I've met people who are gay in Guatemala and their families don't really talk about it. My family doesn't really talk about it either, but they know.
Yeah.
And they're supportive, they're very loving too, like, so I'm very grateful for that for sure.
That's good.
So your parents had like no idea for 26 years?
Yeah, apparently.
Cause I would feel like, if
like you would know the signs a little bit. I
exactly.
guess.
No, exactly. And it's
did you give signs as well, like, or did you try to block that?
I would say that I like
culture though.
Yeah. I feel like it's also about the culture. Well, I don't think I gave out the signs. I was just being myself.
Yeah.
And I guess my parents didn't read that.
Yeah.
In a way, and until I actually like told them. My dad is still like iffy about the whole idea, but he still like loves me. He doesn't support the idea, but he loves me. That's what he says. And every now and then I'm like, come on, Dad, like, there's nothing bad about it. He's like, yeah, but like, we weren't made to be that and whatever. So I was like, yeah, that's your train of thought, or that's your belief, and that's what I believe, and this is what I believe. So at the end of the day, we both agree to disagree.
The reason I ask is because I have twins, like I said. One of them, if they came home and said, "Mommy, I'm gay," I would totally not be surprised.
Okay.
I could be wrong, and he turns out to be straight.
Wait, how old are your twins?
They're young. They're 10.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's still an age you could probably tell a little bit.
You could tell.
Yeah, but kids at that age, yeah.
Puberty.
But again, it's like you said, it's just being themselves. So you
Yeah.
just
Right.
never know.
Well, yeah, there's also like some kids that are a little bit more queer than others, and then there's also like the sexually fluid,
right,
or gender fluid,
yeah,
which like they can feel whatever they want to be.
Right, and that's kind of like what I tell all my kids, regardless. Anyway, listen, I'm not here to judge you for your sexual orientation because I'm not gonna be the one to sleep with you at night. It's really none of my business. I don't really want to know. Parents that are like super like over the top, like I'm just owning you. I'm like, bro, why do you care so much? That's not creepy. You thinking about what your kid doing?
Exactly.
And privacy of their own. I want to know. Honestly, if you straight, gay, I don't want to know freaky shit you got going on. Like
honestly, like the most that I've told my mom, because my mom is the one that I have a better connection, communication in regards to that. And in fact, yesterday I was just like, what are you doing today? Like, you're going out so much, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm actually, like, I just came back from a date. And she's like, oh, okay. She didn't ask me, like, how it was, or how was he, or anything. But she was just like, oh, okay. And then I hung out again with him. That's like, yesterday. But I didn't tell my mom, like, what was I gonna do. I was just like, oh, I'm just going with some friends to watch a movie, whatever. But in reality, I was just going with them. But I didn't actually specify, like, the details. Because that's the things that she doesn't have to know.
Right. Unless this is somebody that you plan on being, like, serious with, to me, that's when...
Then you mention a little, details.
But even then...
But ask for just that, but not, like, sexual details. I don't even want to hear that with a straight
That's what I'm saying.
Well, my mom be accepted. I don't know. My mom is weird.
I mean, my mom too.
My mom may be a little like.
Yeah, my mom is weird. Like, not too open, but like a little bit of stuff. I'll be like, oh, I twerk my ass back, and my mom be like, she be over there like, Jamaica, you so crazy. Like, I just say random things, but it be sexual, but I say it in a funny way, so she just be like, you crazy. So even with both my parents, I just be like, I pop that ass back, and then
no, my mother is the one.
So I just be like,
my mother is the one. Matter of fact, maybe one or two tips may have come from
Yeah, your mom is wild.
the book of
She be
Linda.
even commenting on my stuff. You're like, oh.
Yeah, my mom.
She be a little wild.
I love her though, and I wouldn't change that about her. But sometimes I do have to say, I'm not old enough for this conversation. Even at 32, I'm not old enough for this conversation, Mom. Like, you're bugging out. So, I mean, but for me, like I said, just watching my kids, if he did come to me and say, Mom,
You wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, boy, I knew that from the time you came out that bathroom talking about, hey, girl, hey. Like, I knew that. Right. Talking about, he's an that. So, I mean, if he came home and said it, I'd be like,
okay.
Yeah.
I knew, son.
Does he like have any preference in like toys and things like that, or like TV shows and things?
No, actually, he's not.
It's just a personality. It's a little bit more like vivid.
His twin is into like Marvel and DC Comics, and he'll watch it with him because that's his brother, so he'll do it with him. But if he has his preference, we watching Disney musicals.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. So if he did.
So going to the Disney musicals, with my siblings, like when High School Musical came out, I was the only one in my household. Like I was like, oh my god, sitting in front of the TV. Nobody touches the TV because I'm watching High School
You
Musical.
gotta be
right
careful with that though, because there's kids who may like it as well who are not that way. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
That's true,
you're
because
right.
me and
Be
Khalif
careful.
used to be into
Yeah, you have
to
to
High
be
School
careful
Musical
how you
too.
label
Like we
people.
loved it, and Khalif.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you said, it's just you being yourself.
Exactly.
So your parents, especially with that culture background and whatnot, it's
You probably
just,
wouldn't
this is
think
just
about
my
it.
child being themselves.
And having
you know
10
what I mean?
kids or
Right.
11
But
kids
because
and
of
all
your,
different.
because of like
that's true.
your background and like you're not in that culture of like strict religion. We're not gonna think about that. Don't talk about that. To where your mind is open and it does so happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that plays a big difference. But we have to be careful with labels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't label him.
See, honestly, okay, so labels can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It all depends on the right way to approach to someone is like what is your pronoun, or like some people like they have no pronoun, so they go by them or they.
I've heard of that.
So those are the non-binary.
Yeah.
Or the cisgenders. Like I consider myself a cis male.
What
So-
does cis mean?
Cis means that you were born as, or you agree with the sex that you were given at your time of birth.
Okay.
So if you were born as a female and you agree with being a female, then you're a cis female.
Okay, so I'm a cis female.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if I don't, you say like, oh, I don't believe in like him or like being a male or a female. I am myself. So I would say address me as them or they instead of he, she, it, or he, she, or yeah.
He or she.
So
I've never
it's
come across
interesting.
anyone like that yet.
Yeah, it happened to me once when I was working at Lush, the Florida Mall, and there was a couple. I don't know if you guys have shopped there, but
I have, yeah.
the employees is very diverse. The group of employees. So I came across with one of the employees, and I was like, oh, her, like, and she did this, and then, and they were like, no, that's they. I was like, wait, what? It's like, it's they. They are non-binary. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? And then same thing, like you asked. And they explained to me, because I didn't know. I was clueless. I came out when I was 26, and in my whole entire life, I only had one gay friend, and we didn't really talk much about it. Like, it was like, oh, like, he's my friend, and he's gay. That's it.
Right.
And that was all.
How long have you been here in the States?
Since 2007, I graduated high school in 2009, and then I moved back to Guatemala. I moved back here to the States in 2012, and I've been here since then.
And how much of an influence would you say your family had, and just how people are in this country when it comes to that played a role in like how long you waited to come out?
I feel like I probably had the opportunity to come out earlier in 2012 because I lived by myself in Vegas. And Vegas is crazy. You can do whatever you want there. So, but I don't know. Like I feel like I was afraid. I was trying to like fight back like what I was thinking, and in my head I was like, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, from the influence that I had when I was growing up,
Conditioning.
thinking, no, that's not correct,
Right.
yada yada yada. And then until I was 26, and I started thinking, I was like, no, this is what I think and what I am, and I can't fight it back. I can't hide it. So I first told my best friend, and I was scared to death. I almost cried, and I was like, and I finally told him, and he's like, oh, okay, but you don't like me, right?
I love when they ask that.
That was probably like when you asked me like the question that you
That's
made
probably
the
the one.
That's probably like I was like no. I'm like no.
What the hell?
I had a friend who came out when we were in high school, and all of the boys that I used to hang around would be like, oh, I don't want him around because he's looking at me. I'm like, you're not even his type. Like,
Exactly.
you do realize these
Every
people
male.
still have
Sorry,
standards,
right?
right?
They
You
don't,
ain't
they
it.
don't just go with anybody that they just, oh, you gay, we gay, let's go together.
I feel like there's a lot of
yeah.
going back to your question, to your first question, like here in the States, like it's a little bit more open and like when it comes to LGBT.
Yeah.
However, there's still the stigma of like, oh, like I don't want to be seen with this person because I don't want people to think that I'm gay too.
Really?
Yeah, people think it rubs off. Like it's
Exactly.
contagious.
So that's
Or
something
contagious.
that's still a thing in
Exactly.
2018. You can say that this. people still
Yeah.
act like this.
Well, now I don't surround myself with toxic people like that. So,
So do you
Yeah.
find that you hang around more straight men than gay? Or?
it's a mix. I can't count to be honest. I'd say, oh, I hang out with more of this than that. But I can
It's
say
kind
that
of
I do
even.
have more girl friends than guy friends.
Oh, okay.
If that
Is
makes
there a
sense.
reason for that, or is just?
I feel like I'm more open with girls than I
You click
am
better,
with
probably?
guys.
More
Guys,
comfortable with
gay guys can be very crazy.
I've
So,
learned that too.
Yeah.
I met a few
like
I
crazy.
mean, yeah.
in my
crazy.
day, and I'd be like,
And they get up on your face and you're like, no, 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 no.
yeah. And I'm like,
You like, I'm not really into all that. I'm going to stick with the
Yeah.
female. 'Cause
Okay. Yeah. Like
I mean-
Saturday I went to Parliament House for a Halloween party, and that place was packed, and it was just crazy, and everybody's like staring at each other, see who's hotter, who's not, and like I'm imagining their heads are like, oh, then a scale 1 to 10,
yeah,
like grading each and every single one and the costumes and whatever.
yeah.
It's like, oh, like the less clothes that you wear, the hotter you are, or whatever. And that's the whole thing that I hate about the gay community.
Superficial.
Yes. And it's hard. Now, like, it is, now in 2018, I feel,
Straight people are the same.
I say probably straight girls.
Yeah, straight
Yeah,
girls.
straight girls are the same. Yeah.
No, but like 2018, it's a lot more difficult to find a serious relationship with, like, in the gay community, because a lot of people, they just have sex in their heads. And then it's like, okay, let's hook up and that's it, or let's just like hook around and whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't think about settling in a relationship. And if they settle in a relationship, they think, oh, we should have an open relationship, or invite a
Right.
third.
I've heard that too.
So that's kind of uncomfortable at some point. It's like, okay, so what's the point of having a relationship and legalizing marriage?
If
Yeah,
you
you
still whole
still-
around.
you're a whole
yeah,
around.
if you're gonna still go around. So it's like, what's the whole point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of is upsetting. And going along with that, the Caesars, Orlando is actually one of the, I think it's the top 10.
Yeah.
And
that-
It's
then
like,
HIV?
I think it was like
In
8%.
HIV, and I think the top 5 in HPV and
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
And that's crazy.
Don't quote me on this because I'm not a doctor. But
yeah.
No, but I think I read this
Yeah.
similar article saying that. I was like, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
a lot
I
of
think
people
it
have
was
their
more than
unprotected
8%.
sex.
I think it was like 15% of people in Orlando. I think it was that. It was
Yeah.
that.
It was a
kind-
very high
It's
number.
high.
Yeah, 15%. When you think about it, that's a high number for a city to have HIV or.
Yeah.
I always say it's like playing Russian roulette. Like you're just
Yeah.
waiting for
Exactly.
that bullet to hit you.
Yeah.
And
Because then now, like, the whole PrEP medicine is out. So people think, oh, like, shit, I can just fuck around and,
I'm still gonna live 20 years.
yeah, I can still live, like, my whole life as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
But
But then
then,
you don't think about like you're spreading it around at the same time as well.
Exactly.
And maybe
Yeah.
people don't have the same access to the same type of healthcare you
Yep.
do.
Exactly.
yeah.
And there's a lot of health insurance
I've
plans
read
and stuff
about
that
that,
will
like,
cut you
in
off
Jamaica.
or drop you off of the health insurance.
Like gays that are in Jamaica, like I watched this whole documentary. Like gays that are there, a lot of them don't care if they catch like AIDS or whatever, and it's crazy because it was like a whole documentary. I mean, a lot of them was getting beat up, and it was explaining how they got killed, like friends that they knew that got killed. But a lot of them was at the same time was like they don't care. They had like, it was disgusting. They lived in a gutter, and they call it the gully. They lived in a gutter, and they called it the gully, and they had like used condoms. Some of them, they said they will reuse the condom.
That sounds like Parliament House.
Right?
The documentary was so. I learned, and then it was disgusting at the same time because I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is this? But yeah, some guy that is a trend was calling herself Rihanna. One of them was like, my name Beyonce.
You know what?
No, they all had a star name. One of them had implants in a butt and was like, I'm Nicki. It was funny, and then it was like, yo, these people is dead ass. Like, this is,
But they do that here, too.
I mean,
You know, the drag, and they dress up. Too.
Oh, yeah. They do that here. But I'm just like, it was just
Well, drag
disgusting.
doesn't always mean gay, though.
Yeah.
There's straight men that do drag, too.
What?
Yeah.
I never.
So drag is not really a label. It's just it's a show. It's like
It's a performance.
performing. Yeah.
Well, like Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry is a form of drag.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Although I do believe he's gay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
I don't know.
But
So on that note,
we're at the end of the show.
Are we at the end already?
No problem.
We want to hear more from the
No.
audience, though. Like, you can still comment and, leave your opinions. We want to hear from the single moms and, people who may have experiences like Nicco here in the U.S.
Just comments on that.
Like, share and comment. But stay tuned for episode 10.
Before we jump into episode 10, I just want to remind you guys, because
To
it's going
vote.
to be last minute.
Oh,
yes.
Vote.
You
Next
can vote
week.
now. Early voting is starting now. So
Next
you can
week,
vote
Tuesday
now
is your
until
last
then.
day, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't vote.
Yeah.
But everybody out there, vote.
Vote.
Please.
Yes.
And research your amendments, because I know they're hard to read. If you have questions,
I know
I will
you
help you do
talking
research.
She was on Facebook talking about that.
That Amendment 6 had me going, boy. It's like, y'all don't really know. It's mad pieces to that thing.
Close your Tinder, close your Grindr, go
Right.
to
Get
Google
off
and search all
Facebook,
your
yep.
Close your Tinder.
Yep, close everything out.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously. So,
True.
with that being
look
said,
into
vote.
that.
Next week, Tuesday, is the last day to vote. So, please, this week,
Yes.
next week, make it your business to vote.
And
Okay?
check out our special episode that we're going to have on episode 10.
Yes, stay tuned for episode 10. We got something special for you guys.
I can't wait. I'm
Monday,
excited.
7 o'clock.
Episode 12.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye, guys.